Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to our first-hand facts. Well, today we have something very exciting in store for you guys. Pawn Stars. Ever heard of them? Yes, it's that widely successful reality television series that airs on a digital cable and satellite television network called History. Pawn Stars is an American reality television series which is filmed in Las Vegas, where it narrates the daily events at the world-renowned gold and silver pawn shop. The series shows staff's interaction with customers that are there to sell or pawn different artifacts. The series became the network's highest rated show and #2 reality show, only behind Jersey Shore. The cost of items sold to the pawn shop are determined on many factors like rarity, quality and condition of the items. But one factor that the pawn stars have taken advantage of many times is how desperate the customers are to earn quick money from their items. And that is exactly what we are going to show you today. 5 pawn star moments that went too far. But before we start, I want you to hit that red subscribe button to enter a monthly shoutout giveaway. Just comment down below saying I subscribe, we'll enter you into the giveaway. Number 1. Gold coins. One day, a woman named Jennifer Beckman came to the golden and silver pawn shop with a few extremely valuable gold coins. She got herself a deal exactly priced at $12,375. Later, there was a twist in the story. The lady had stolen those coins from her uncle, Mr. Walter. The story got media attention when there was a criminal complaint filed by the state of Nevada that coin collection of David Walters was stolen from his home by his niece. This was of no use for the poor old man, as the pawn shop had already melted the gold coins to make the most out of the gold. Under the state of Nevada law, a shop must hold items for 30 to 90 days so that the customer can purchase it back and the police can inform the shop if there is any stolen goods sold to them. However, coins are not considered a part of the jewelry, so there's an exception to this rule. And if you think things couldn't get any worse for Mr. Walters, then hear this. It was later discovered that the gold coins were worth a staggering price of $50,000. The most shocking part of this entire story is how easily pawn stars sold the gold coins for a fifth of their actual value. Number 2. Yasutsugu Samurai Sword. Korei's negotiation on a 15th century samurai sword is perhaps the most appalling example of deceiving the customer. The sword has an 80% rarity and comes under the category of military and weapons. David, who was a lawyer by profession, came to the gold and silver pawn shop pretty much unprepared for negotiation. He said that the sword was pledged as security from one of his clients, who later failed to return in order to claim it. Corey was a bit skeptical about the geniuses of the sword since the seller was out of town, which is why he initially proposed an overall underwhelming offer of $800. However, the naive lawyer got super hyped after hearing the offer, as he later said, and we quote, "When he offered me $800, I wanted to jump and do a dance, but I had to keep my cool because the price was still going up." They settled at a price of $1,500, which seemed like a fine deal for the seller, but was later found that just before the haggling started, Corey accepted via backroom confessional that he'd seen the sword sell for thousands of dollars. Doesn't this make his opening offer of $800 a bit hysterical? Turns out that the sword was exactly what the seller claimed it to be. The expert determined the sword to be worth around $5,000 to $6,000 in its current condition. After a restoration of $3,000, the sword jumped to a mind-boggling price of $15,000. As the expert stated, "You can tell by the signature on the blade that this is a real Yasutsugu sword. You should be able to get $15,000 at an auction. Quite a profit, isn't it?" Number 3. Hotchkiss Cannon. On number 3, we have a Hotchkiss Cannon. It was designed by American gunsmith Benjamin Hotchkiss in France for the Franco-Prussian War. It was used by large naval ships, and there are less than 50 of them left in the world. Its owner Chuck thought that the best he could get for it was $30,000, and after he was told that it was worth $40,000, he agreed upon the deal offered to him by Rick of 30 grand. The deal had only one condition to it, and that was that the cannon should still fire. So it was tested out on a plant, and lucky for Chuck, it did fire. This deal shows us how Rick took advantage of Chuck's presumed cost of the cannon and gave him exactly what he had thought to get from them, making him ignore the real cost of the cannon. Number 4. A 62 Lincoln Continental. A 62 Lincoln Continental is one fine vintage car to set your eyes on. I mean, I sure wouldn't mind having this beauty parked in my garage, especially if I got it for the price that the pawn stars got it for. Devin, the owner, intended to make about $14,000 with this car. This is almost half of the price of the car in its top-notch condition, so the price in Devin's mind was pretty justified. However, Rick and the old man were able to capitalize on the car's poor interior. They managed to bring down the price below $10,000 and the deal got done for $9,500. Any idea what's the original showroom price? $10,000, which means that they actually paid less in 2009 to what the worth was in 1962. Not an everyday sight that you see with fine classic vintage cars. They spent $15,000 to bring the car back to the showroom in its prime condition. The product they received after the restoration was worth $30,000 to $35,000. Number 5. 1890s Colt 45 Peacemaker Revolver. Just a friendly tip, never do anything that will undervalue the item you're selling. A guy named Brian walked into the gold and silver pawn shop to sell his 1890s Colt 45 Peacemaker Revolver. But before they could start the negotiation, Brian foolishly mentioned that he purchased the gun for $25. That was enough for the pawn stars to take advantage of. Surprisingly, they ended up settling for $3,000, which was a pretty amazing deal for Brian considering he spilled out the truth. But there's more to it than meets the eye. After inspecting, Sean tells Rick that this gun is worth at least $5,000 in its current condition. When an expert says you did well, that's enough for you to realize that you made a pretty good deal. So this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. Also watch the 2 videos that you are seeing on stream right now because I'm sure you'll love them. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.